Hey there, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain. Who the hell is Hugh Malone? I don't know, but we're going to drink an IPA, a Belgian style IPA, from a local Maine brewery, Allagash Brewing, called Hugh Malone IPA. So I assume it's named for some dude named Hugh Malone. I assume. I'm going to say he's decked out in maybe pilot's garb with some goggles, but there's no info on the label or the description about it, so I guess I'm just going to have to find out by researching his name later. So I'm going to crack this open and pour it out. Make sure to hit me up down below while I'm doing this with a like and a share, and if you subscribe, you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. Hopefully you're getting some value out of them. Now, what I really like about Allagash is they've started putting their specialized brews in these smaller bottles. It used to be you'd walk into the local beer store and they had a handful of their brews available in the smaller bottles, but if you wanted some of the really nice stuff, you'd have to invest close to 20 bucks in a large bottle. Now, it's never a bad investment. Their beers are awesome. And every single bottle that I've gotten from Allagash that was between $10 to $20 was worth every penny. But, you know, the ad revenue on this little channel doesn't pay for itself. So, I like the smaller bottles. I can spend a fraction of the cost and still get an awesome beer. Case in point, their 1T IPA. I really wish I had filmed that. That was an excellent beer. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It was delicious. It had this nice, almost floral esters to the hop profile that just evolved as you tasted it. It was delicious. It was a full 5 out of 5. So anyway, wish I had filmed that one. But we're dealing with Hugh Malone today. We'll see how that stacks up. Enough about that. Let's look at this particular beer. It's actually slightly hazy. I wonder if there's some particulates in there or if it's just a cloudy beer. I don't see anything floating, so I think it's just a hazy beer without particulates. It's got a nice yellowish color to it. Almost a light honey color. I'll give you a good look at that. Slightly effervescent. And again, very, very hazy. A strong hint of fruitiness. Maybe a little bit of citrus and pine in there. Not much else coming off of the aroma. It's another really well blended IPA from Allagash. It's got a bit of a medium mouthfeel. Not much maltiness coming through, but you can tell it's got a strong backbone based on the mouthfeel and the fact that it doesn't taste like watery hop tea. I think a lot of people forget that IPA is Imperial Pale Ale. The whole history of that style of beer involves just taking a regular beer and throwing a bunch of hops in it as a preservative so that Great Britain could ship it to India. That's really where we got IPA from. Now, modern IPAs, breweries tend to take one of three different stances on it. One, they just throw a bunch of hops in a weak beer, trying to over-hop it, and you wind up with this watery, hoppy tea. It's really hoppy, got a great hop profile, but there is no other character to the beer, and you're left feeling like you just drank, like I said, a hoppy, watery tea. Two, they over-hop the beer, and they go crazy with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Stone's Ruination and the next generation of that, the Ruin 10, I love those beers. But they have a strong character with the malt backbone, and it's a great beer first that they just overly hop and kill you with the bitterness of the hops. Their whole goal there is to just wreck your palate. A couple of other beers that come to mind: Palate Wrecker and Dogfish Head's Who Loud, the bitterest beer ever made. It has more IBUs than any other beer on record, I think by a tenfold factor. And then there's the third school of thought on your IPAs, which is a great balance of beer and hops that just gives you something like this. A really great beer with a nice strong hop profile that doesn't overshadow the fact that there is a beer there and turn it into nothing but hops, but the hop profile is forward, and that's the primary thrust of the taste. Mm. So anyway, I think I've spent enough time talking about IBAs, IPAs, and IBUs here. This particular beer is not quite hitting that 5 out of 5 for me that the 1T did just previously this evening, but this is definitely a solid 4 out of 5. This is a great beer with a nice strong hop profile. There's not much coming through the malt characteristic, but it does have a nice medium mouthfeel that tells you there is a strong backbone there that they pinned that hop profile to. So this was definitely made to be a beer first, but it's a hop forward beer. And again, I'm getting strong fruity notes with a bit of citrus and pine in there. And overall, it's a great experience. I wonder when I look up Mr. Hugh Malone if